First of all, I would just like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I was very honored whenever I received the email from Dr. Jones about receiving this scholarship. This was really a neat experience for me at K-State, probably one of my favorite things that I've done during my time there, actually. And so I was very honored to receive this. So with that, I'll start my presentation on the effects of organic acids in place of feed-based antibiotics on nursery pig growth performance. So as we know, feed-grade antibiotics are a very effective tool that have been used for many years in the swine industry that help enhance health and overcome some of the growth deficits that young pigs may face post-weaning. However, in current times, we know that there is consumer and regulatory push to limit the use of these products and find effective alternatives. And while there has been some research done over the use of organic acids within the past decade, there is limited research on the effect of them directly compared to feed-grade antibiotics under controlled conditions. So therefore, the objective of this trial was to discover if pigs fed commercial organic acid blends could have similar or better growth performance than those fed traditional feed-grade antibiotics over a 21-day period. So the experimental design of this trial was a randomized complete block design. Blocking was done by room in the nursery, with pins serving as our experimental unit, and we had 10 replicates per treatment. So we had a total of 360 weanling pigs weighing approximately 9.7 kilograms at day 0 of the trial. The 6 treatments that we used were a control with no additives, chlorotetracycline, carbidox, and then the 3 organic acid blends that we used were Chemgest, Activate DA, and Outpace. Pigs and feeders were weighed weekly to help determine average daily gain, average daily feed intake, feed efficiency, and body weight. And once all of the data was collected, the Glimmick's procedure of SAS was utilized, and data were considered significant if they had a p-value of less than 0.05. Now this brings me to my results, and I'll go ahead and start in the upper left-hand corner. Each of my graphs is set up the same way. Along the x-axis, I have the treatment and inclusion rate labeled. And along the y-axis, I have the response criteria in terms of kilograms. So when looking at the impact of dietary treatment on average daily feed intake throughout the duration of the trial, we can see that those pigs fed diets including Outpace or chlorotetracycline had a greater impact on average daily feed intake, and those that had Mecadox in their diet, they had a poorer average daily feed intake. So moving over to the impact of dietary treatment on average daily gain, we can certainly see how feed intake impacted this because once again, those pigs fed chlorotetracycline had a greater average daily gain at 0.69 kilograms per day, and those fed Mecadox had a poorer average daily gain at 0.47 kilograms per day. Now when we look at the impact of dietary treatment on body weight, and this was the final day of the trial, day 21, we can once again see that those pigs fed chlorotetracycline had a greater final body weight, and those fed Mecadox had a lighter weight on day 21. Now as we move to the impact of dietary treatment on gain to feed, the main finding that we found here was once again those pigs that had Mecadox in their diet were not as efficient on feed. So this brings me to my conclusion. And once again, differences in final body weight and average daily gain were greater for those pigs fed diets including chlorotetracycline. And likewise, those pigs fed chlorotetracycline or Outpace demonstrated a greater average daily feed intake throughout the duration of the trial. An interesting finding for us in this study was that the inclusion of carbidox in the diet actually had a poorer effect on the pig's overall body weight, average daily gain, and feed efficiency. This was interesting because carbidox is a commonly used feed additive in the industry that usually has the opposite effect of what it did in this trial. So overall, the results of this study indicate that the inclusion of chlorotetracycline in weanling pig diets is still a valuable additive to enhance growth performance in the nursery. And I would certainly like to thank the Dr. Mark Kim and Young Undergrad Research Fund and the National Pork Board for funding this project. I know I certainly got a lot out of it in terms of getting more experience in the swine industry as well as deepening my knowledge of how to conduct scientific research.